Accounts of legendary animals are never hard to come by. As indicated by normal legends, most have silly highlights and qualities that may make it difficult to put stock in their reality. The way that we frequently need certain proof to demonstrate they are genuine doesn't make their circumstance any better. However, as we are going to discover, a significant number of these apparently legendary animals really existed, and some are still around today. Presently, you might be thinking, on the off chance that they are truly near, for what reason do we not have pictures? We really do. It is only that we botch them for some other animal. Mermaids. Stories of mermaids, a race of half-human and half-fish crossovers that live in the sea, are a typical mariner's tale. Surprisingly, a significant number of those accounts are in reality genuine, despite the fact that they might be overstated. Mermaids exist. Christopher Columbus even spotted 3 during his first excursion to America. He depicted them as not all that lovely as they are supposed to be, for their appearances had some manly qualities. Pause. What? Manly? In any case, mermaids are quite often female, aren't they? Well, the animals we call mermaids are really manatees and their firmly related cousins, dugongs. The 2 creatures are called ocean cows as a result of their enormous size. They are the biggest amphibian herbivores on the planet. Mariners confuse them with mermaids on account of their extraordinary human and fish-like characteristics. A completely developed ocean cow is around 6 feet in length, which is around the stature of a grown-up human. They have 5 human finger-like bones on their flippers and can turn their necks and remain in shallow waters like a human. Put in their fish-like backs that occasionally stick out of the water and you have a mermaid. Kraken. The kraken is presumably the most fearsome ocean beast ever envisioned. As per mariners of old, it is an enormous octopus-like animal with an affection for sinking boats and eating its team. Legend says the kraken assaulted and sank ships with its solid arms. In the event that it was ineffective, it began swimming around and around until it made the whirlpool that sunk the ship. Is the kraken genuine? Indeed, it is. The supposed kraken is really the Goliath squid, which is tremendous, as that monster, in the name as of now indicates, yet significantly more modest and less brutal than mariners guaranteed. There are no records that it ever assaulted or sank a boat, or is even incredible enough to sink one. The kraken moved from fables to reality when the remaining parts of a Goliath squid was found on the shore in Denmark in 1853. Inquisitively, the monster squid is pretty much as subtle as the legend it propelled. It lives so profound submerged that we have restricted data about it. However, we realize it has, according to every single living animal, grows up to 18 meters and is habitually pursued by sperm whales for food. The more vulnerable monster squid for the most part escapes when stood up to by a whale. Notwithstanding, it here and there retaliates when cornered, and it isn't unordinary to discover sperm whales with scars left from their fights with Goliath squids. Dragons. Monsters are presumably the most well-known legendary animals out there. Their looks shift, yet the most widely recognized depictions demonstrate they had reptile-like bodies, bat-like wings and sharp hooks. In case we fail to remember, they likewise inhaled fire out of their mouths. Why do mythical serpents have such shifted portrayal, and for what reason do numerous disconnected societies authenticate their existence? It is on the grounds that the genuine monsters had fluctuated glances and lived in various pieces of the world. Long after they were gone, their remaining parts transformed into fossils, which locals found and used to depict what they resembled. Some were colossal and others were most certainly not. Some had sharp hooks, some had bat-like wings, and some may have had reptile-like bodies. Be that as it may, none inhaled fire from their mouths. Lastly, we don't call them mythical serpents, yet dinosaurs. Truly, dinosaurs are the birthplace of the mythical serpent fantasy. Numerous societies, especially old China where stories of mythical serpents proliferate, thought of monsters in the wake of discovering fossils of dinosaurs. Poakai. Maori legends recounts the presence of a monster flying fledgling with an affection for grabbing people off the ground and diverting them for utilization. They called the winged creature Poakai, which signifies Old Epicurean in English. As Frederick Richardson Fuller, a taxidermist at Canterbury Exhibition Hall later discovered in 1871, that feathered creature truly existed. The house bird, as it is presently known, was the biggest falcon to actually wander the earth. Its wings alone arrived at 3 meters and its essential prey was the bigger and terminated moa flying creature, which weighed somewhere in the range of 100 and 250 kilograms. We people weigh extensively less, so the flying creature may have truly pursued us. The housed falcon and moa developed freely of people. This implies the bird may have befuddled the principal people to arrive on New Zealand with the moa, since the people likely wore garments made out of quills. Then again, it might not have minded at all and just added us to the menu. Rock. In the event that you thought the housed hawk was destructive, the rock is more regrettable. It is a housed falcon on steroids. On the off chance that a housed hawk could get a human, a rock would get a local area. Nobody said it did, except for we are simply attempting to give some viewpoint. In any case, there are claims the rock could take a completely developed elephant off the ground. Sailors of old guaranteed the rock lived on an island simply off the shoreline of Africa. Truly, the alleged rock is really the Epiornis, otherwise known as the elephant-winged creature. It gauged a large portion of a ton and grew up to 10 feet, making it the biggest feathered creature to actually exist. Like the rock, it lived on Madagascar, an island simply off the shoreline of Africa. However, the Epiornis couldn't lift an elephant into the sky since it was flightless. Furthermore, there are no elephants in Madagascar, and the feathered creature, notwithstanding its immense size, is a lot more modest than an elephant. The elephant-winged animal existed at the time. Gossipy tidbit about the rock previously seemed 900 years prior, however, went wiped out during the 1500s. People may have pursued it into eradication. Unicorns. The unicorn is a legendary pony with a solitary horn in its mind. It is safe to say that they are genuine. Indeed, they were. Nevertheless, they were not what you think. Unicorns were not ponies but rather rhinoceroses, that is, if the terminated Siberian unicorn is actually the birthplace of the unicorn legend. Like the unicorn it might have propelled, the Siberian unicorn strolled on 4 legs and had an enormous horn in its head. However, in contrast to the unicorn, the rhino was greater, more grounded and presumably meaner. For viewpoint, it gauged 4 tons. You would not have any desire to associate with that thing. The Siberian unicorn lived in Eurasia until it went wiped out around 39,000 years back. Luckily for the people that were around at that point, it was a herbivore and favored chomping down on bushes. Nonetheless, similar to the present rhinos, it might have been exceptionally forceful towards unfortunate people that wandered excessively close. Griffins. The griffin is another crossover legendary animal. As indicated by fantasy, they have the faces, wings and front legs of a bird and the back, tail and rear legs of a lion. They flew as well, which makes them one animal early people would have given a wide billet, in the event that they existed, that is, talking of presence. Griffins truly existed, yet that was before the main people showed up. They were really a sort of dinosaur called the Protoceratops. Like the griffin, The Protoceratops strolled on 4 legs and had a bill yet didn't have a wing, but when individuals had little information on dinosaurs and just feathered creatures were accepted to have noses. It is nothing unexpected that individuals asserted it had wings. Whatever had a bill ought to have a wing, shouldn't it? Furthermore, the animal had long shoulder bones that were handily confused with wings. Sea serpent. The ocean snake is another brutal animal accepted to watch the sea. Sailors of old recounted expound accounts of its reality, such a lot of that it became legends. The animal, as you may have speculated from its name, is an apparently enormous fish-snake crossbreed. Like the kraken, the ocean snake truly exists despite the fact that its highlights and stories are vigorously exaggerated. For a beginning, the alleged ocean snake is really an oarfish, which truly seems as though a fish-snake half and half. Yet, that is the place where their similitudes end. The oarfish is a lot more modest despite the fact that it is impressively long for a fish. It comes to up to 30 feet long, making it the longest hardfish in existence. Unfortunately, we think minimal about the oarfish since it lives profound submerged. Be that as it may, we know it neither feeds on people nor fishes yet on little marine animals like shellfish and krill. It was authoritatively found in 1772, centuries after the legend it enlivened initially showed up. Yeti. The Himalaya individuals of Nepal and China have customarily discussed the presence of a major and furry 6-foot-tall animal they call the Yeti. The presence of this legendary and subtle animal possibly became far-reaching information in 1921 when some British pilgrims professed to have discovered its impressions while climbing the Everest. The wayfarers said their nearby aides called them Meto Kangmi, man-bear snowman. In any case, Henry Newman, the writer, who met the gathering, mistranslated Meto as smudge rather than man-bear. He later changed grimy to accursed in light of the fact that it sounded better. That was the way the Yeti got its more normal name, the Abominable Snowman. The name, the Abominable Snowman, may commit you error the Yeti for a race of unfamiliar and graceless people. Nonetheless, on the off chance that we return to its right Himalaya name, the man-bear snowman, we would rapidly acknowledge we are managing a human-sized bear that lives in the blanketed district. The Yeti is really the Himalayan earthy-colored and mountain bears. 2 genuine subspecies of bears that live in the Himalayas. Like the Yeti, the 2 bears are huge, bushy and earthy-colored, or dark on account of the wild bear. DNA tests have demonstrated that the greater part of the hair, skin, teeth, hide and defecation that apparently have a place with the Yeti really have a place with these bears. Gorillae. At some point between the 5th and 6th hundreds of years BC, a wayfarer from old Carthage called Hanno the Navigator found a clan of shaggy and discourteous individuals while exploring the banks of West Africa. In his reports, Hanno composed that the clan had a larger number of guys than females who he alluded to as shaggy ladies, and called gorillae. Hanno's gathering pursued the clan, yet they all fled. The guys were significantly quicker and immediately climbed the bluffs from where they tossed stones at his group. The females were increasingly slow. Group figured out how to catch 3. Notwithstanding, they retaliated forcefully, compelling Hanno and his men to execute and skin them. He returned their skins to Carthage. The animals became legends since no Westerner saw them again until an American teacher called T.S. Savage rediscovered them in 1847. They were not people but rather primates. Or on the other hand, to be more exact, they are the primates we currently call gorillas. Savage named the new animals Ignoramus's gorilla, with regards to Hanno's gorillae. All things considered, there is some discussion about whether Hanno saw gorillas or some different types of primates. Regardless, Savage's shut-ins gorilla was subsequently renamed Gorilla, while the actual creature was called Gorilla.